Hello there. I would say happy Tuesday, but I've not seen much of it actually. We went out last night, in honour of my son's birthday, and we just went to a fish and chip shop in Blackpool, which was very, very nice. But I was in agony all the time. I'm one of these stupid people who won't take painkillers. Yeah, so therefore I'm in agony. Anyway, when I came in last night, I thought, no, you've just been 2 nights where you've not had any sleep. You're looking like, this is my no sleeps kind of look. So I thought to myself, stop being a martyr and take one of your muscle relaxant tablets. Well, one. I took one. I'm a triptyline if you're interested. And, out. I remember sort of the dogs coming in and jumping on the bed and my daughter-in-law shooing them out again. I remember that bit. And then I woke up and I looked at the clock and I thought, oh, I've been having issues with the clock. I thought, flipping thing stopped again after I put a new battery in it. It stopped. And then my brain started thinking, it can't be 4:15 in the morning because the dogs wouldn't have jumped in all over me and my daughter-in-law wouldn't have been hoovering. I did register that the hoover was going. I did register that bit. And then I thought, no, it can't possibly be 4:15 in the afternoon. So I reaches for my phone to look at the time. 16:15. I thought, oh, it is 4:15. This, my friends, is one reason why I won't take my painkillers, because I completely lost the day, didn't I? There was so much to do I was going to do today, and of course it was practically dark by the time I got home. By the time I'd by the time I'd cooked myself some breakfast, which was more like lunch/tea, it was dark. So all the plans I was going to do, like going in the shed, do this, oh yeah, there was lots of things I was going to do, all just went by the board. So, hey ho. In case you're wondering what I'm wearing, it's just a basic granny, not granny stitch, is it? Well, yeah, it is granny stitch, isn't it? Top down. If you're asking where I got the pattern from, I think it probably was online somewhere on YouTube, maybe by Claire, Crochet by Claire, maybe it was her that did it. Anyway, I was just using up all sort of bits of colours that I was doing, and I had all different shades. I probably made a video when I made it way back when, but it was one of those things that got shoveled to the back of the cupboard. I've yet to find the very satisfactory way of storing my woolies, because I think I told you I've got wardrobes, and then on top of the wardrobes are cupboards, which I can't reach because I'm a bit wobbly on steps. So I tend to just roll them in a ball and throw them up into the cupboard, which is not a good way of treating your woolies, is it? So occasionally things get right to the back, and every now and again I think I'll have a sort out. I will wobble my way on steps. I'm very, very unsteady on steps. So I will wobble my way onto a little pair of steps and try to sort everything. I've got a grabber, I grab them all down and pull them all down. Finish up with an avalanche of sweaters. And then I start to sort them out into some kind of order. Well, the first couple of rows I can put neat, and then I can't go up any higher because I'm scared on ladders. So I sort of lob the rest. I wasn't in the netball team for nothing. Roll them in a ball and throw them. And if they stay, they stay. Most of the time they come flying back down, so it takes me 3 attempts to chuck them up into the cupboard. Yeah. Anyway, that's been my day so far. A waste of a day and a waste of space and time. Not even the postman woke me up because he didn't call today. And I have ordered something. I was in a very sort of feel sorry for myself kind of mode on, would it be Sunday? Hang on, what's today? Tuesday. May have been yesterday. And sadly, the way I cheer myself up is to order something which is very, very bad for my bank balance and very, very bad for my shed. Yeah. I've had my eye on Frida Kahlo style poncho for a long, 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 long time. I never really worn a poncho, although my friend did make me one, but I've never really worn a poncho. But I just had this yen to make it. Of course I thought, oh, I've got loads of things in my shed I can make it with. It's by Katie Jones and it's on lovecrafts.com, I think, if you want the free pattern. I'll show it you later. I can't print it off because if I print it off, my printer's only printing blue. And as the poncho is mainly reds and pinks, it just wouldn't look the same, would it? Anyway, if you look up lovecrafts.com, and it's a design by Katie Jones, and it's in, you know, the Frida Kahlo collection, and it's a poncho, and it's like a big rose kind of thing in the middle. It's like 4 granny squares, basically. Anyway, when I get the wool and that, I'll show you. So I did that. So I'd spent all Sunday listing all the cones of yarn, not cones of yarn, cakes of yarn, cakes of cotton mix. I spent all day listing them on eBay. So far no takers, but loads of people are watching, so they've got about another 4 days to go before they go off, so I'm hoping that people will look at them. I will put my eBay link underneath, yeah. Because I'm de-stashing, as you know. De-stashing and then buying more. Hello, Janet, where is your brain? The whole point of de-stashing is to make room in the shed and not to add to it. But in my brain, I'm thinking, I'm going to start this poncho when it arrives. Yeah. So in my brain, I'm thinking, it's not going to be stashed, it's not going into the shed. See, I have to justify myself. By justifying myself, I'm thinking, you're not adding to stash, Janet. You are getting things that you're going to make. Because I intend to start making this poncho when I call it wool, when the yarn, the wool arrives. Yeah. I couldn't get the exact colours for the poncho because when I looked online, the wool that Katie Jones had recommended using, it was all out of stock, apart from about 6 colours, which weren't the colours that I was supposed to be using. So I had to go on another brand and just pick colours that I thought were similar. So mine won't look anything like that pattern really, but hey ho, you have to be an individual, don't you? You haven't got to be a sheep. Yeah. Anyway, I've pinned on the mannequin because I got so far on this one and I couldn't decide what the front and the back look like on this, because I'm making mine different to the pattern. Hello, wouldn't be me if I wasn't making it different to the pattern, would it? I decided I would make like a square neckline because I don't like these where they go straight up and you've got no shaping. They don't sit right on me. They don't sit right on my shoulders. They don't sit right anywhere. So I decided I would make a little panel like down the front here. But on this front, I've forgotten what I've done. It's the same on the back. Oh, if you can see the back. Oh, hello. Shades of mannequin trouble again. On the back, I've done a piece there, which I need to do on this side. And then I need to try it on to see whether or not it would fit without adding more into the back. Yeah. I mean, there are loads of hexagon jacket patterns on eBay, and this is where I got the idea for this one from. But of course, being me, I have to alter it. And I will be altering, I mean, I don't want the big, wide, baggy sleeves, so I will be going round the sleeves and sort of bringing them in a bit. I'm not kind of into wide kimono sleeves. I prefer a tapered sleeve, yeah. Which obviously, well, I could have done on there if I'd have been thinking about it, but hey ho, I didn't. As for my knitting, I've ordered some more Knit Pro needles. I'm determined I'm going to do some more knitting, yeah. As for my knitting, of course, nothing's much been got done on it because, well, I was out last night and then I was sleeping today, so nothing much has been done on this. As you know, I'm doing this very old pattern, which everybody's asked me about, but I can't help except I bought mine on Etsy, even though it was a vintage pattern, but I got the original pattern, so I don't know whether anybody will be able to find, that's the one, find it again. I did it originally, I think I told you, when I was 17 in the lilac, and I would have preferred it in lilac now, but I didn't have any lilac chunky in my she shed. and I was determined I was going to use up some of the stash. So I started it off in this, I call it like a jade green, in Trentino Chunky Patents. Never heard of it before, but I must have bought it at some stage. And I'm up to shaping on it now. I did some work on it when I went to the Library Knit Club. So I'm up to, it's going to be a nice long one. It'll probably be ready for next winter, because it's a bit late for this winter, isn't it? But hopefully I will not be needing it when I finished it this winter, because it's supposed to be coming to be spring, but somebody forgot to tell Fleetwood the memo that it's supposed to be spring, because it's still cold. Yeah. So there it is anyway. That's what I'm up to on it. I'm quite pleased with it, because I haven't knitted properly anything for a long, long time. So, you know, especially nothing with cables on it. My goodness me, Janet, you are throwing yourself in the deep end here. Well, I think I used to do errands and everything, you know, but my fingers just don't work anymore, you know. I mean, today I was trying to, what was I trying to do today? Trying to do something on my left hand. It's freezing cold and it's just not feeling anything, yeah. But hey, it's not a tale of woe. Not a tale of woe, it's just some things us golden oldies have to put up with, yeah. I'm sure you're with me on that point there. As my dad would say, stop moaning, at least you're still alive, yeah? So, stop moaning. Anyway, this came in the post today. I must have had a brain fade. I have got a doll in the shed, an 18-inch. I think in America you would call them an American Girl doll. Mine isn't, but mine's a similar shape, yeah. It's in the shed. I don't know why it's in its box in the shed, but it is. Because I don't play with dolls, but I just fancied this doll. My idea was I'm going to dress it up, yeah. Of course, you know, yeah, never did it. Anyway, I got another pattern book. It's by Lisa Nymark. Don't know how you pronounce her name. Lisa Nymark. It's called Dress Up Your Dolls. It's not actually just for 18-inch dolls, this one. It's for dolls up to 18. And it appears to be knit and crochet, because that one's like a crochet pattern. So whether or not I will ever make anything out of this book, I don't know. And my fingers are so cold I can't turn the pages. But, you know, it just appealed to me. So if you're into doll making, I think the dolls vary from about, oh, I haven't got my glasses. I think they go up from about a 12 to an 18 or something like that. Some are knitted and some are crochet. So I might dress my doll. I might dress her up, you never know. You know, got all sorts of nice things in it. Got a couple of crochet witches on. In the Guardian. Oh, there we go, in the Guardian. So if you're into dressing dolls, it is a nice book. There's some very nice little patterns in it. My fingers are so cold. Outdoor celebrations. Oh, there's my phone going. Do, 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 do. One of them was a message from a friend I hadn't seen for a while. She was asking me if I still go to the knit club on a Wednesday. I'm like, yes, I still go. Not to the one I used to go to, because I stopped going there, but to the new one. Yeah, I still go there. Oh, here we are, pirates. Sadly, no Donny Depp. Johnny Depp. Who from now on will be known as Donny. Yeah. Yeah, so she was asking if I still went, and I still, yes, I'm still going, so I don't know whether this will turn up or not. There we are. I used to go singing with this friend, but you know, with the weather being so dire, I haven't been venturing out as much. What tickled me was a post on a page somewhere about Fleetwood saying, I can't wait to come and live in Fleetwood, how beautiful. And I'm like, what? And everybody's saying, oh, it's the best thing I ever did, moving to Fleetwood. And I'm like, what? Fleetwood is nice, well, nice-ish, when the weather's nice. But please come and look at it when it's dire in the middle of winter, before you buy a house. Which we obviously didn't do, yeah. I think if I'd have come in midwinter to look at a house, I would have said, no thanks, we'll go somewhere else, yeah. Because it's dire. Still haven't got any news about my scooter yet. See, there's loads of patterns in it. Loads and loads and loads. And I did get this one on eBay. Yeah, so I didn't pay top whack for it. So, you know, I don't mind when I get a bargain. I've also ordered another book by Katie Jones called All the Circles, I think. What it's like, I don't know. She's a little bit, I wouldn't say outlandish with her crocheting. Bold, you know, everything's bold and bright. Which technically in my brain I am, yeah. And I should stop being such a wimp and dress how I want to dress. I am not a conventional dresser, although I have toned myself down. Because when you live in a beige, crimply anorak area, you tend not to want to wear things that stick out, which I should do. Because my style of clothing, as you know, we've got in the snow. These are just a few of them. But I would say you like dolls. This book's a good one. I should stop worrying about what people think about what I wear and wear what I want to wear. Yeah. But I'm so self-conscious and so conscious of wanting to fit in, you know, that I don't dress the way I wish. You know, mine is more, you know, boho, as you know, something frilly, something bright coloured, something off the wall, yeah. And I feel as though I'm being stifled living here, you know. My creativity has been stifled since I moved here. Because everywhere I look, everything is grey. The seafront, I think I've told you, grey. Not a plant in sight, not a bit of colour in sight on the seafront. Grey concrete. Miles and miles and miles of grey concrete. Which according to Fleetwood people I should be grateful for, because at least it's formed a barrier and the sea doesn't come over and flood the houses anymore. One point. But my idea was if they were going to design a seafront and they were going to do it all from scratch, they had the good opportunity to put in some plants, some trees. People go, but it's by the sea, you see, like that, you can't do that. And I'm like, no, if you ask a gardener, there are plants that do actually like being windswept, rain-swept, sea-swept. There are some shrubs that do like that. So I'm sure if they'd have put a bit of thought into it. I mean, it's no good planting roses if they're going to get battered as they're by the sea. But I'm no good as a gardener, but I do watch gardening programmes because I do like to see them, yeah. And there are people who have these places by the sea and they're asking people like Alan Titchmarsh, what plants can I plant? And he comes up with shrubs and he comes up with all sorts that will withstand the weather. So, you know, Fleetwood had ample opportunity when they were doing all of this to put some planters in every now and again. There isn't even a shelter anywhere. You've got seats, but they haven't got any tops on them, you know what I mean? No tops. If you suddenly got caught in a bit of rain on the seafront in Fleetwood, you'd be wet because there's nowhere to shelter, you know. Like the good old days when we used to go to Blackpool when I was a kid. There used to be all these shelters with poor little ladies sitting there with their cups of whatever, flasks of tea. Because back in the good old days, if you lived, well, if you didn't live, if you went and stayed in a bed and breakfast place, they used to throw you out after breakfast and you weren't allowed back in again until your afternoon tea or whatever, or allowed in later. You weren't allowed back. So all day long you had to wander about in Blackpool. There was no such thing as like a hotel, well, there was hotels, but people didn't have the money where you could stay in the bedroom if it was raining, yeah. So there was shelters all along the seafront and people used to sit in there huddled up in their pack-a-macs, you know. It was jolly when it was raining. I mean, I've been to Blackpool a few times as a kid when it was raining. I think that's what colours my judgment of it today. I can't say as I really remember any beautiful sunny days going to Blackpool. We always seemed to go when the weather was dire. Still, that's another thing, isn't it? When the sun comes out, you see, I'll be telling you a different story. I'll be saying, oh, it's lovely today, beautiful today. But the wind is rattling the fences out in the back garden. I haven't been out because, as you know, 4:15 it gets up, it's going dark, yeah. All my plans to go in the shed today got scuppered because I didn't get up, yeah. And of course now I've got the too long in bed headache. And I don't want to take any more painkillers, otherwise I might go back to sleep again. And that would be whatever. So what am I going to do for the rest of the day? Well, I'm going to light the fire because my fingers are so cold. Absolutely so cold. I'm going to try and sort out where I am on this and try and maybe at least do the the fronts to match the other front, and then I can continue with finishing that off. Or then again I might do some knitting on my sweater, because I'm going to knit club tomorrow and I would like to be starting a new piece, are you with me? You know, starting the ribbon on the front, because this is the back. Instead of taking this big piece that I'm knitting, if I knit a little bit more I can get to the neck and, you know, finish that bit off. And then at least do the ribbon, or at least count the number of rows for the ribbon, so I can just take that with me to knit club tomorrow instead of taking the whole back. Yeah. So that's what I'm going to do. I've got things in the fridge, not the freezer, the fridge for my tea, but of course I don't eat a lot anyway. Surprisingly I'm this size, but I don't eat a lot. So I don't really feel like my tea, because it's not that long since I had my breakfast. It still is breakfast, isn't it? Because you're breaking a fast and the fact you've been asleep all night, yeah. Oh gosh, that wind is getting up. The wind is rattling the fence. No matter how good you are at putting fencing in, you know, you've got the concrete posts and you've got the slots of fencing that slide in, they always rattle. When I lived at Mountside, I was forever putting wedges of wood and wedges of anything and stones and anything, trying to stop them rattling. But here they just rattle, rattle, rattle. It's just impossible to stop them from rattling. And here we don't have any stones I can put in to stop them rattling. I mean, when I lived on my own, I had wooden clothespins. And the ones that don't have the springs in were fantastic. You know, the old-fashioned ones that slot on. They were fantastic for wedging in the fence post to stop it from rattling. Eventually they would break with the wind, but got some more. But here we've only got this little plastic things here, which you put in 2 seconds, and there'd be springs everywhere. Yeah? So maybe I should look for some old-fashioned wooden clothespins, not the ones with the springs in, the old-fashioned ones. Maybe I should look for some of those. And I could wedge the fence post and stop them rattling, because they really, really annoy me. They don't annoy me as much now the conservatory's built, because my bedroom now no longer leads onto the garden. We've got like French windows, whatever you want to call them, patio sliding doors, which were the bedrooms. These two were bedrooms here, but now they lead into the patio. Not the patio, they don't lead into the patio, they lead into the conservatory. Whereas before my bedroom used to lead straight out onto the patio. So then it used to really bug me, the fact that the fence used to rattle. Now it's a little bit more muted, so hey ho. Anyway, I don't know what you're all up to. So far my day has been very non-crafty because I haven't been awake long enough to craft. So I'm going to go light the fire, see if there's anything worth watching on TV. Oh, there we go. I've not had a message. See, I knew they wouldn't let me down. I've had a message. Go and see what's on the TV, settle down, see if I can do my knitting, maybe finish this, at least get this bit up to where I'm supposed to be getting it to, you know, so I can put it together, or try to put it together to see if it's big enough for me. I'm not even sure if I'm going to keep it, to be quite truthful, but then again it won't sell, so who knows. Looks like I will be keeping it, yeah. See, where are we? I was talking to a friend of mine, she crafts. She doesn't craft crochet, why she crafts in other ways. And she was saying the same thing about how dire the last couple of years have been. Sales-wise, you know, for anybody who crafts in the UK, it's just been dire. I don't know whether it's the same in the US or whatever. I don't know whether people have got less money, well the heating's gone up, hasn't it? People are more worried about paying their utility bills than they were. People maybe have less money to spend, you know, on other things. I don't know what the problem is. But it's not just me, which in a way it's comforting that it's not just me that's not had sales. It's everywhere across the board, no matter what craft they do. It's not just crocheting or knitting, you know what I mean. It is other people, you know, do pottery, do painting, do candles, do wax melts, do everything. People across the board are finding it very difficult. And of course we've got this stupid situation with the post at the minute, where we still can't post anything abroad. It's not affecting me so much as I've only got one thing I have to post, but you know, other friends of mine whose main source of income comes from another country are finding a bit of a struggle because people are moaning, you know, why hasn't my post come, why hasn't this come, why hasn't that come? Because if you're not in the UK, you don't understand how dire the situation is for the post at the moment. And people are saying to me, even eBay was saying to me when I put these cakes of cotton on, send them by Every. That used to be Hermes. Well, I don't know what goes on in your area, but our Every deliveries round here are worse than the Royal Mail. You know, people are always saying, has anybody seen the Every man, woman, whatever she is at the moment? Because we're waiting for post, waiting for Every to deliver, and they haven't. And apparently they don't pick up when they're supposed to pick up, so... And my latest drop-off point is way over when, so if I was to sell one cake of cotton, I don't want to be having to trolley it all the way over to the shop to drop it off. You know, just for the sake of selling one cake of cotton. So it's Royal Mail or nothing with me, I'm afraid. It may be a bit haphazard, but at least it gets there in the end, if you know what I mean. Whereas Every and DHL and DP, whatever. I mean, people have said to me, oh, why don't you send the jacket that you're waiting to send to Canada? Why don't you send it another way? Yeah, okay, fine, fair enough. At twice the price of postage. I'm sure my lady wouldn't want to pay twice the price of postage. And I can't afford to knock that off the cost of my garment because, you know, I just can't, because I'm selling it for a lot less than I was in the first place. So I can't afford to knock it off, you know. It's the same with Etsy. Send everything post-free, says Etsy. It might be okay if you're in the US and you're selling to the US. That might be fair, that might be fine. If I was in the UK selling to the UK, maybe I could do it. But being as I sell worldwide with my things, I cannot advertise them as being post-free. Can't do it. Because I would then add on the £20 or whatever it would cost me to post it abroad onto my garment, which would then make my garment seem more expensive than anybody who's selling anything in the US. It's hard to compete these days. Well, this is a moany video, isn't it? This is a whingey, whiny, moany video. And I hate moany videos. Where people are doing, oh, woe is me, oh, this is that, oh, that. Stop watching them. Stop watching them. I don't mind if a person has genuinely got an illness and something has drastically happened to them and they're saying, oh my goodness, this has happened and I've had to go in hospital, or this has happened and I've done that. Don't mind that. But I don't like people who just saying, oh, that's telling me to shut up. Stop. I don't like people who've got the same complaint, like, you know, an ongoing complaint, something like I've got, you know, with arthritis and that. Every video, oh, you know, whine. Don't like that. So this is goodbye from Whiny Janet. Moany old Janet. Who's saying, happy Tuesday, see you all very soon. When my parcel arrives with all my wool, I shall show you. Bye for now.